Let time. Yeah, it's gonna make you touch the sky.
I felt like almost like my years were going backward.
First, Renee and I were like best friends. We went to college together in Philly at Temple, and that's where we met. We started singing together there.
Y'all, you won't believe the heartbreaking reason that ended one of the most iconic R&B duos of the 90s, Zhané. These ladies had us all grooving with classics like Hey Mr. DJ and Groove Thang, redefining the game with their smooth vocals and short-haired style. They weren't just a vibe, they were a whole movement. But just when they had the world in the palm of their hands, it all fell apart.
I felt like almost like my years were going backward.
What really went down? Was it creative beef between the ladies, the shady games of the music industry, or something even deeper and more personal? For years, fans have been left wondering how a duo that seemed so unstoppable could just disappear like that. We're about to dig into all the drama that split this duo apart, what led them to break up, where they disappeared to, and why a reunion feels more like a dream than reality. And don't worry, boo, I got all the details on what these ladies been up to since. All right, y'all, let's take it back to the early 90s when two powerhouse ladies crossed paths at Temple University in Philly. Jean Norris, born on March 10, 1970, in New Jersey, grew up belting her heart out in her daddy's church choir. And then there was Renee Neufville, born January 21st, 1973 in Brooklyn, repping her Jamaican roots loud and proud. These two queens didn't just share a dorm, they shared a gift. Both could sing, play the piano, and write songs. Baby, it was destiny in the making.
First, Renee and I were like best friends. We went to college together in Philly at Temple, and that's where we met. We started singing together there. Gosh, so much stuff. We started there even singing in talent shows, weddings, things like that, and eventually landed a deal on Motown with hit song Hey Mr. DJ and those things. We got to travel to different countries, Australia, different places in Europe, Japan, and we were young, we were fresh out of college, so this is a lot of new experiences so early in life.
Their talent caught the ear of none other than DJ Jazzy Jeff. Y'all know he was already hot in the streets working with Will Smith. When Jeff found out about these two, he had to snatch them up for his production crew, A Touch of Jazz. They even landed a feature on Will Smith's Home Base album with the track Ring My Bell, but get this, they didn't even make it into the video. Disrespectful, right? But don't worry, sis, they were just getting started. The ladies decided to rebrand themselves into something unique. Jean and Renee became Zhané, flipping the script with the French pronunciation and a jazzy Z for flavor. And baby, that name hit like a statement piece. Their big break came when they dropped Hey Mr. DJ on the roll with the Flava compilation.
Everybody, move your body, now do it.
DJs couldn't stop spinning it, and the track blew up. Written by Renee on her bedroom floor, it was the perfect mix of smooth vocals, a killer Michael Wyckoff sample, and a fire verse from Fam of Rotten Rascals. That hit put Zhané on the map, making everybody sit up and take notice. From dorm rooms to the charts, these queens were on their way up. You won't believe how big they got. When Zhané dropped their debut album, Pronounced Zhané, in 1994, Honey, it was a whole cultural moment. These ladies had us two-stepping, grooving, and slow dancing with tracks like Hey Mr. DJ, Groove Thang, and Sending My Love. That album didn't just go gold, it went platinum, solidifying Zhané as one of the hottest R&B duos of the 90s. Everywhere you went, their smooth vibes were on repeat.
Wanna give you what you want, just as long as you're around.
And let's give credit where it's due. Renee was out here writing bops that hit right in the soul. Inspired by legends like Patrice Rushen and Atlantic Starr, she brought those silky 70s and 80s vibes into the 90s with a fresh twist. The pen game was strong, baby, and it showed. Every track felt like a classic. Now, let me tell y'all, the drama leading up to Zhané's breakup wasn't no overnight thing. It was simmering for a minute. Word on the street was that Motown had big plans for the duo, but baby, those plans didn't align with what Jean and Renee had in mind. The label wanted them to pump out more commercial bangers, but these ladies were all about keeping it real and staying true to their jazz roots. Renee, a jazz major back in her Temple University days, had dreams of creating art, not just radio hits. Meanwhile, Jean was out here trying to balance artistic integrity with keeping the label happy. And, oh, the studio sessions? Wow, child. Sources close to the group say arguments about creative direction were popping off left and right. Renee wanted more jazz influence, while Jean tried to find that sweet spot between staying authentic and giving the label what they wanted. And let's not even get started on the budget drama. Motown was allegedly giving them corner store budgets when our girls had caviar dreams. The label wanted them to compete with all the shiny suit R&B groups that were flooding the market, but Zhané wasn't about that life. Jean reportedly said, "We ain't trying to wear no shiny suits," and we felt that. By the time their second album, Saturday Night, dropped in 1997, things were getting messy. Motown was pushing for more commercial sounds, even suggesting bringing in outside writers to freshen things up, but Jean and Renee weren't having it. They were fiercely protective of their sound and weren't about to let anyone mess with it. Behind closed doors, meetings turned heated, voices were raised, and contracts became a battlefield of creative control and marketing disputes. When the dust settled, their split from Motown wasn't the clean, peaceful goodbye everyone thought. Industry insiders spilled that negotiations were intense, with Zhané fighting to protect their artistic vision while the label was more focused on chasing chart success. Ultimately, Jean stepped back, leaving both women to navigate the industry on their own terms. It wasn't public, but behind the scenes, baby, it was a storm. And just like that, one of the most iconic duos in R&B called it quits. Renee and Jean had built something legendary together, but sometimes even legends need to evolve. Looking back, it's easy to see the weight of the industry and the desire for personal ambition pulling them apart. They gave us 2 unforgettable albums, countless features, and timeless hits that still get the party jumping decades later. While fans were heartbroken, Jean and Renee knew this was the right move for their own journey. Zhané's split marked the end of an era for 90s R&B, but it also set the stage for both queens to shine in their own ways. The story wasn't over. It was just taking a new direction. Jean went from R&B queen to jazz royalty. In 2000, she tied the knot with jazz drummer Marcus Baylor, and together they created the Baylor Project. Y'all, this duo is the truth. Their music blends jazz, soul, and gospel in a way that feels timeless. Their debut album, The Journey, 2017, scored them not 1 but 2 Grammy nominations, including Best Jazz Vocal Album. Talk about leveling up. But Jean didn't stop there. She also dropped solo R&B and Christmas albums like Testimony, My Life Story, where her silky vocals hit all the right notes. She credits her faith and family for keeping her grounded through it all, saying her spiritual journey inspired her music and gave her the courage to step out as a solo artist. Jean found a whole new groove, and she's been thriving ever since. Renee took her soulful sound into the world of jazz, touring with the legendary Roy Hargrove's RH Factor. Sis was on keyboards, serving vocals, and exploring new creative heights. Her solo project, Watching Me, showed her versatility, blending R&B, jazz, and even dancehall vibes. She also worked with icons like Aaliyah, Jill Scott, and India Arie, keeping her name alive in the game. When Roy Hargrove passed in 2018, Renee paid tribute with the heartfelt ballad, Something to Believe, showcasing her emotional depth and respect for her late collaborator. To this day, She's making waves in both R&B and jazz, proving her talent knows no bounds. Fans keep asking, when are y'all getting back together? And while Zhané and Renee haven't ruled it out, they seem content carving their own paths. Reunion or not, they're still giving us life with their solo moves. If you love this kind of R&B tea, don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button. We're bringing you more stories of the legends you love and the music that made history. Stay tuned.